The reason we chose Covent Garden is it is a place where people have always mixed. And it's also an area that's heavily represented in art. A number of artists and writers and poets who lived around Covent Garden and who wrote about it. So it's a place that's already very rich historically, archival material, visual material.
It's a history-ish film. It's about the history of Covent Garden, but I'm one of those people who, when they talk about history, talks about the present as well. I don't really think of 1630 necessarily as the past. That's sort of the present that we live in. Everybody's put in front of the camera, they look into the camera, and they tell the story that they've got to tell. Now, we could easily have got them to do that in their own homes, frankly, and then cut away to the archive imagery, the pictures that reveal the age that they're talking about. We wanted to get away from that slightly show and tell feeling to a more immersive experience. So we had to devise an aesthetic that was not naturalistic, but somehow reflective of the era that we were trying to portray. So we came up with this idea to reveal the Piazza of the various eras that we're revealing of it in the aesthetic of those eras. So hand-drawn etchings, slightly more luscious watercolours, architectural drawings, and then sort of CAD/CAM designs.
We've tried to build these as full 360 3D environments so that our director can go in and say, you know what, I'm going to go over to this corner of Covent Garden and shoot over here, and then I'll turn around and I'll do a reverse, and then actually, I quite like this bit over here, so I'm going to move over here now.
We're so close to the top. What I'm trying to do is alter the pan or anything because we're so close to the top and the edge of the screen. But I wonder if Jim does a slow zoom on the background.
You do that easily, Jim?
Yes, let me just...
Might need a couple of minutes.
And we both go like that and both extract away.
Okay, so I'm pushing in closer.
Yeah. Cut there, you don't just cut that, that's fine.
Yeah.
You're trying to recreate something that is 400 years old, and the only sort of material that we have is really sort of old prints and a couple of paintings. You know, there are 4 or 5 pictures of this period. And so to be able to sort of see that at scale and at such detail was magnificent.
It seems to me in that technology that when you look at those rendered worlds, what you see is something so much more powerful than looking at the drawings that those rendered worlds are based on. You see something which moves with you, that reacts and swirls around you the way the natural world does.
Okay, hold on. Well, not that much. I want to be kind of looking down that fence.
Yeah, get as many as you can, great.
Yeah. Yeah, we're almost at the end of the market buildings now.
It's brilliant. Now you get a sense of it, don't you?
Scroll from here.
Let's have a look at it on camera.
ICVFX technology is relatively new across the spectrum of filmmaking and has been used till very, very recently solely by high-end feature films. But what we're seeing now, and especially with the work that we're doing, StoryFutures Academy with Uplands, is trying to transfer the technology across to different genres and different medium almost. What we're seeing is that the documentary filmmakers are getting very excited by the technology. The price point is still making it tricky for them to actually make the most of the technology. But what we know is happening is the price point will come down.
Being on the stage and seeing it working is a really different experience. There are just those moments of magic where, you really see the 3D-ness of the world. And I think there are some quite non-literal things you can do with it. The sun's moved very quickly, so you kind of get a time-lapse effect. It's a kind of 3D illustration, so why not treat it quite playfully? I think that's worked really well.
I'd like to do the sun shot now, and I'll tell you, get the sun to move around. Really what I want is shadows lengthening live.
Okay.
So,
there's only so much words can do, there's only so much paper can do, there's only so much, imagination can do. But technology kind of is that next step, that bridge between all of that to allow everyone to really see history rather than just read it.